Dear friends, hope you're well and keeping safe. For me, my travel has started again, as if I'm in the pre COVID days. But one thing I like about traveling is the downtime I get to read more books. This time around, I picked this book, The FBI Way, written by Frank Figliazzi. Frank was a long term agent within FBI. He has played various senior roles as well. And he wrote about the code of excellence that FBI follows. There are seven principles he spoke about. He called them as seven C's. When I was reading that, I could relate it back to the company I currently work for, HCL. So what I'm going to do in this video is talk about the seven C's first and then relate it back to how HCL kind of links back to those seven principles. So here we go. The first C is the code. Code is about the values, the ethos a company has. The second C is conservancy. Conservancy is the each employee of the organization, all the leaders as well, how they ensure that all the ethos and the values are defined, you carry it forward, you conserve it, ensure that the company demonstrates it in every possible way. The third part is clarity. Clarity is about not having confusion in terms of what your values are. There is no absolutely zero tolerance in the confusion. You define certain rules, you define certain ethos and values, and you have absolute clarity amongst all the people who work for the organization what it basically means. And that kind of leads to this fourth C, which is consequences. So which basically means that if you do not have a clarity or if you do not perform the code of the duty or code of the conduct, what it will cost you, that's a consequence. The point in consequence is the company, the organization has to be absolutely clear about the consequences. So if the people do not follow, they should exactly know what it basically means, whether they lose the job or there are certain disciplinary action that will be taken and so on and so forth. So beyond the consequence, the next part, which is very interesting for me, was the compassion. No code or ethos can be defined and no code and ethos can be followed if you do not have a compassion for it. So you follow that, you follow it to the hilt because you believe in it, you have a compassion for it. And that kind of leads to the credibility part of it, which is a 6C. Credibility takes a long period of time to make, right? So you have certain values, you want to show to the public and the audience that you have a value, but to really make the public and the external world believe in that, you need to be credible in what you're doing. And that kind of leads to the last C, which is a consistency. And credibility only comes when you're consistent in your approach, when you time and again in every possible way, you show your value out in the audience, out to the external world, that how you do it in one particular way, in a consistent way. So those are the seven values: code, conservancy, clarity, consequence, compassion, credibility, and consistency. Now let me show you how it relates back to me when I see HCL, the company I work for. By the way, I've been working in this company ever since I started working, about 21 years now. And there are few values which kind of stands out for me. A couple of them I'll name. One is employee first culture. We truly believe in our employees. We are a services organization and we truly believe our asset are the employees that we have. The second value which I'll talk about is relationship beyond the contract. We always partner with our clients with whom we work, and we always believe that contracts are only for the lawyers and finance guy to look at. But when you are in a relationship, you do not always open the contract. You live the contract by the spirit. So that's our C, the core part of the entire seven value. And if you see the conservancy part, we all, in fact, the leaders, the people, we truly believe, I think everyone absolutely take it forward. We, all of the leaders, make sure that we are all working towards making our employees shine, and that's where the employee first culture come into play. And also when you're working with the client, we ensure that we put their interest in front of us and creating a relationship which is beyond the contract. Clarity, which was the third C, is absolutely there in our case. I think no one is having any doubt in terms of the way we approach a client, way we approach our employee. There are different mechanics within HCL and outside that we follow to make sure that there is absolute clarity in terms of what we believe in the values that we have created. And in terms of the consequences, we absolutely are aware of. We know how to conduct ourselves in a business situation. We know how we conduct ourselves when we are responsible for the employees who work for us as leaders. And we are also accountable for the clients that we work for. And that has come with the compassion that we all bring in. I think these values we are so very proud of. We are absolutely compassionate about it. And each one of the individual within HCL carries that forward. And if you see that, the credibility has come over a period of time. In fact, it took us, I think about 16 years back, it was first formulated. And since then, we have three different CEOs, but each of the CEO has carried it forward. We have not dropped the ball. We have enhanced it, taken it to the next level. Each of the leaders that we are all in the company have deeply invested in the particular values that we have created, and we have taken it forward accordingly. And that's where the consistency comes into play. We have taken it over a period of time. We have shown it and demonstrated in the marketplace, the analyst community, the client ecosystem that we work for, the partnership community we work for, and the employees that we have. They all believe in this. So those were the 7 C's from the book. I highly recommend you to read this book. He has taken some great examples from the FBI world to relate it back to the 7 values. And in terms of HCL value, I would also challenge you that in your organization, what are those values you see? If you can relate it back to the 7 C's, why don't you drop a note right out here, or you can record a video and put it out here. Thank you again for your time, and looking forward to speaking to you again in the next video. Take care now. Bye.